What's up, folks? A little bonus video for you here today. I felt guilty for not being up to date on the patron Q&A series that I do, which this is going to go on the second channel just for everybody, just because I think it's kind of a fun little interesting thing here. And it's also easier to record than a rambles, less, editing and stuff for me to go through. But I've been meaning to check this out for a while, and I have seen this before. This is my TV Tropes page, which is the highest honor that I think I could possibly have bestowed onto me. For those that don't know, or are not familiar with the black hole of time that is TV Tropes, but it basically is a website that is dedicated to analyzing and discussing and pointing out various tropes that show up in not just TV but any media. As you can see, my dumbass is on here. It's basically a wiki. Anyone can edit it. You don't have to be an expert on any of this. So you can just be a fan of something and discuss the things about any piece of media that you consume. Whenever I'm done watching or playing something, or even in some cases listening to an album, I'll go to the TV Tropes page just to learn fun facts about it. Or I feel like the word trope is sometimes given a negative connotation, but it really just is like a trend that shows up in videos, or a common thing or theme that's shared across various pieces of media. I found out that this was made maybe 2 years ago at this point, and I definitely checked it out back then, but I didn't do a little video about it. In the same vein, I did this a year ago, but I took a look at someone who made a Wikitubia page for me. I think that was back in the spring or winter of 2024. I know for a fact that I scrolled through, and it's a decent bit longer than it was when I initially read through it, and I'm sure whoever maintains this is one person. I'd be surprised if there were people that knew this page existed outside of me and the person that created it, and now anyone that might be watching this. But I wanted to go through it and just see how accurate I think it is, or if I agree with the tropes being assigned to me, and just give a general quality scan. I don't know if this is interesting, but it interests me because it's about my favorite person that I'm not engaged to, I should say. Well, first of all, it uses my up-to-date profile picture, which I know that the Wikitubia page at first did not, but the person that maintains that page did change it after they saw my video about the Wikitubia. It uses my tagline that I have been using since a creative writing conference that I did back in college in 2017, 18, somewhere. I think I was either junior or sophomore. Obviously, it was raise your glasses, lower your expectations. It's Pat, last name, back then. I've been writing this line for all it's worth, basically. You can kind of tell when the profile picture is close up here that I very obviously upped the saturation on certain parts of the profile picture. Others I just left go, but RF actually took this picture. I took the initial because, of course, I was alone in my bedroom. But then she took this when we were meeting up while we were still long distance. Anyway, Regular Pat is a YouTuber known for his videos towards the Kingdom Hearts series. Yes, I do. Oh wait, I had this, I wanted to play music so I don't have to edit it in post. So it'd be easier I should just do this for rambles as well. This is my favorite VGM playlist. I guess the first 3 minutes will be silent, but hopefully it's not too loud. Yes, I do like Sonic and Knuckles Lava Reef. But yes, I do make videos in the general direction towards the Kingdom Hearts series, that is true. My channel rose to fame, Z-list fame, I guess, thanks to my dry humor and content ranging from typical boss ranking videos and speculation on Kingdom Hearts 4 to subjects like my opinions on which Day and Days is my most favorite, or how many mooks has Sora defeated in terms of scripted battles or cutscenes through his journey. I'm known for my contribution in the community with the Wayfinder project. See, I'm so happy that that's even not even a footnote. This is part of my main bio. Not the Bioroxis kind, the biography of my time here on the internet. Yes, please talk about the Wayfinder project. That's far more important than the channel, and I'm not even kidding. Okay, added alliterative appeal. I like that the trope itself is also alliterative. During my ranking of K2 bosses, as soon as I mentioned the word cluster during the discussion of Sark and MCP from Space Paranoids, he begins to make statements with it until he stopped with a roadblock in the form of a made-up word. I gotta say, I don't remember it being alliterative in that script. I remember saying like clusterity, and then like remarking how Google Docs said that that was a real word, I think. But I don't remember being alliterative. I'll have to go back to the KH2 ranking and see if that's accurate. Bait and switch. During the discussion about Anti-Sora and the KH1 boss ranking video, I make a rather specific comment about how I could have easily pulled off a low-hanging fruit live-action skit that only a truly awful YouTuber personality would have likely pulled off. Oh, it's cited as a take that. That wasn't like aimed towards anyone in particular. I mean, it reminds me of things like the irate gamer and like people of that like 2007 and 8 and 9 sort of wave of like game reviewers where it's like it says here, oh, this is Dark Pat, it's me, except I have a gun and I'm wearing a black shirt. I quickly reassure the audience that I'm not going to do the skit simply because I feel slightly smarter than all those YouTubers. Is that what I said? If you're wondering, yeah, Dark Pat is me with a dark shirt, a fake pistol, and a bigger liking over KH2 than the first game. Was it because I said I felt smarter? I mean, I'm believing it, but was I saying it out loud before now? Ranking Kingdom Hearts Chip spends a few minutes setting the audience up to expect a potentially controversial discussion of ship-to-ship combat, which refers to actual shipping discourse, like romantically, and then we have a spoiler tag. He is, of course, talking about ships such as the Endeavor from Pirates of the Caribbean, the Toy Box UFO, there's still people out there that I know have not watched that video. Like, they watch all my other stuff, but haven't seen that because they think it's going to be about romance. And I'm not, like, outside of this where I'm breaking kayfabe, like, I'm not going to, like, make it obvious to anybody that it's not about that. When the third World Watch video moves on to the subject of Disney-owned properties involving superheroes, Pat makes it sound like he's going to address the obvious, only to instead bring up the Rocketeer, followed by Sky High, before eventually getting to the MCU. Yeah, I was a fan of doing that little bit there in the World Watch. Bait and switch accusation. My KH3 boss ranking begins by ranking Gene Jafar last, but as Gene Jafar is not in that game, he ends up ranking Big Fish last. Actually, the Lightning Angler, yes. Sadly, I remember doing the Wolverine meme of Wolverine looking at Genie Jafar and being sad that he's not there to dunk on in last place. Beat without a butt. In his video, are they insulting Beat of Tui fame? He has no butt. In his video on the nonsense economy of Kingdom Hearts, Pac goes on a lengthy tangent about the Moogle points in Castle Blah, right? And the Moogles are playing both sides between Sora and Organization 13, speculating that the Moogles had been native to the land of departure and struck a deal with the organization to return to the castle to recover the points that were left behind. Now, you may be wondering why Riku is unable to collect points or interact with the Moogles during his campaign. Moving on, yeah, like, I realized in the script that I did not have an answer for that, so I was like, before anyone comments about it, I'm just going to freely admit that I don't know where to go with it, and move on to the next thing. Damned by faint praise. In the World Watch videos, Pat often slips into this when struggling to muster up any enthusiasm about a world's potential in a future Kingdom Hearts game. Regarding the Black Cauldron, he reiterates, in a callback to my 1992 video, that the only chance that the world could have had is if the series had started when there was a lot less options to choose from. True. And even then, I think if KH1 did come out in 92, I think there's just no shot. Like, I don't think Disney, like, really puts their foot down with Nomura, but it might have been, they might have done it if he really wanted that. Because it's like, we are not letting people, you know, be reminded of the Black Cauldron. People had to beg them to put it on fucking VHS for like 15 years after the movie came out. For both Dinosaur and The Good Dinosaur, the only interest I have in them would be the inevitable Dinosaur pun. That is true, I still maintain that. Regarding the Country Bears, the only potential interesting thing he could picture a game doing is an actor illusion joke about HJO's roles as both Sora and Barry. I totally forgot that his fucking name was Barry in that movie. I have never written a more useless paragraph than this one. Yeah. The Country Bears segment of the World Watch, still the most useless thing I've written, and I went to school for 15 years. 19? I don't know, a lot of years. On John Carter, which likewise has rock-bottom scores for both Want and Predict, mainly based on what happened the last time the series tried to adapt an Edgar Rice property. I guess I'd rather go to This Mars than the Mission to Mars, so there's at least that. True. Yeah, a lot of damning by faint praise, my favorite thing to do. A lot of World Watch stuff here, I've realized. Didn't think this through. In the third World Watch video, Pat criticizes himself repeatedly for not making his job harder, or for making his job harder by including so many live-action Disney movies that are obviously not getting into Kingdom Hearts, and then he has almost nothing to talk about. Yeah, and then it talks about me being stupid, which have not grown from that. I still make videos where I've made my job too hard by including too much stuff. So that's not changed. Early installment. I love early installment weirdness. This is like one of my favorite pages. By the way, each like trope links to a page, and then the page gives you examples throughout all of media that uses this specific trope. Like, what's the early installment weirdness of Club Penguin? Of course, Penguin Chat, when it was like not a minigame thing and it was just like penguins in a void floating around and talking. But yeah, that's a cool page if you're like interested in, you know, something that you really like, but the early weird shit. Because everything's always weird at the beginning, including Kingdom Hearts, and apparently also including me, because I made my first and only video about ranking the first 151 Pokemons. Yeah. Enjoy the story, skip the game. Discussed in the Days mission ranking video, in which I actually argue against the trope, as the cutscene movie in the HD collection just, for sure. If you're going to experience Days, like, if you can't access the game, or we're not listening to Lavender Town, if you can't access the game, then yeah, sure, watch the movie, but like, watch a Let's Play of the game, you know, or watch my stream of the game. I'll do the voices. I don't know, I'm telling this to you guys as if you're not already intimately familiar with Days, so I guess if you need to get a friend into the series, like, make sure they watch, if they can, watch the game itself, or play the game, but like, you know, that's a commitment. I know they're probably excited to get on to Birth by Sleep, so just like, slap a YouTube video in their face and let them experience the game that way. But not the movie, unless there's really no other choice. Unless they refuse to watch a Let's Play. Hypothetical casting. The video, what if KH released 10 years earlier, looks at a hypothetical KH1 if it released in 1992. Some of these aren't like super interesting, it's just like, hey, he did this in a video. Like, this is just explaining, I'm not going to read all of this, this just explains the characters that I swapped out for each movie for the 1992 version of the game. It's been done. In the World Watch videos, he notes that quite a few potential worlds are unlikely due to the franchise having already covered similar ground. For example, as much as he and his viewers would love to see The Incredibles or the MCU, the last main game did superheroes with Big Hero 6, yeah. Which, I don't know, I feel like I kind of walk that back now, because when you think about how, like BBS had these 3 traditional princess worlds, or Dream Drop had 2 worlds set in, like, you know, medieval era France. They clearly don't care that much about going to the same well. Like, they will go to the same well multiple times in the same game. So I don't think it's that big of an issue. Like, I feel like I treated that as more of a hurdle back then than I would now. I still kind of think it's true, though, for something like Quadratum. Like, I just feel like the big city environment is harder to differentiate than the sort of medieval era, like, princess movies. But I don't know, I still might be full of shit. I just think it'd be weird to go from Quadratum to, like, a Zootopia, or, you know, basically, like, a New York, like Avengers or Enchanted, as it says here. Oh, there you go. I literally didn't even realize that a few commenters pointed out the flaws in the argument, such as the number of games that have come back to Olympus, or the fact that BBS includes 3 medieval... I must be, like, taking the comments to heart, at least, so at least I'm listening, because I was not even looking at that when I was talking about it just now. Late to the punchline, the most popular characters ranking video, Pat notes that most of the people who voted for the Dalmatian puppies chose to include the puppy's number for whatever reason. And this is the whole speech I gave about, like, oh, why'd they pick 67, 68, 69? And I, like, talked through my reasoning, and then I realized, oh wait, it's because of fucking LOL 69. Nothing is funnier. In the most popular KH characters video, Pat goes through every character who got any votes at all in ascending order, while using a buzzer to reject numerous submissions who either have nothing to do with KH, or which can't even be called characters, such as a bar of sea salt ice cream or the rock that kills Goofy. One of the highlights, Sonic the Hedgehog. One person tried to reason that because Sonic is in Wreck-It Ralph, and there's a Wreck-It Ralph world in Union Cross, that Sonic is in Kingdom Hearts. The other person just said Sonic with no explanation, and I respect them more. Still do. Don't try to rationalize your bullshit to me. The video, how many Heartless has Sora killed? Oh yeah, Pacifist Run. Yeah, that just talks about how I talk about... And some people are still on my case about that one, how it's like, well, this video should have been called, like, you know, what's the minimum amount of Heartless that Sora can kill, because you're going through the game, like, trying to avoid battles. And I'm like, well, the point of like, the only way we can answer this question is by getting the minimum number. You know what I'm saying? Like, because all of these fights are optional, and it's like, okay, yes, would it be in character for Sora to fight every Heartless he sees? I think yes, to an extent, because it's like, okay, after the revelation with Syx in Hollow Bastion in the middle point of 2, like, is he still fighting every Heartless he sees? Don't you think there's, like, a little bit of turmoil there about, like, oh, do I have to kill these Heartless in this, you know, this optional room on the way to the boss? Obviously, that's hard to quantify and to talk about. So it's like, you can't really get, like, the number because there's a bunch of optional shit. So the point of the video, and this is not even about the TV Tropes page anymore, but, like, just me talking about old shit. Like, you need to get the minimum amount so you can build from there. It's like, to answer the question, we need to know the absolute baseline, and then you can, like, rationalize from there. But now you know, like, this is the absolute fewest number. So I literally say that in the video, by the way, like, okay, well, the video could have been, or maybe should have been called this, but it's not a sexy title, and it also is just easier to talk about if we start from this baseline. The point of divergence. The video, What If Sora Died in KH1, imagines what would happen if Sora was killed by the crocodile in Neverland. The result is that Riku gets the Kingdom Key early, Sora and Ventus end up in the final world, Kairi's heart ends up with Aqua, who escapes the Realm of Darkness to Hollow Bastion, where she confronts Riku Ansem. Aqua releases Kairi's heart the same way Sora did, Kairi brings her back from being a Heartless, and spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen the video, Aqua gives her Destiny's Embrace. The two would then finish the game alongside Donald and Goofy before moving on to Calm, which is immediately derailed by Aqua turning Castle Oblivion back to normal without setting foot inside. This also means the Roxas is never created, replaced by Quax, a nobody girl who will be great friends with Donald, who is also unable to dual wield. Running gag. Uh-oh. I see it down here. As my channel unfortunately grew popular doing... That's a weird way to phrase it. It unfortunately grew popular during the COVID-19 pandemic. I mean, I think unfortunately is meant to modify COVID here, but it more so sounds like, unfortunately, when everyone was stuck inside with nothing to do, they made this dumb bastard more popular than he should be. I know that's not what this person meant, unless they hate my guts, but I would think that they probably wouldn't if they're doing this page. But yes, calling Kingdom of Corona the Kingdom of COVID. Yeah, I haven't used it as much, but I do like, yeah, I do like saying a fairy tale kingdom or using the clip of Kairi because Disney hates calling it its real name. Yeah, this whole thing with Mickey and Michael, and I still call him Mike or Michael sometimes. In fact, I do it in this character, or this battle popularity video. Yeah, this is just calling bullshit on me, which, thankfully, it also points out that I eventually got over it and realized that I'm full of shit. I do regret my place in history in the fandom for perpetuating the Mickey war crime bullshit. My bad. I walked it back. I'm trying to atone, just like Vexen. Snub by omission. Played within the first World Watch video, in which Pat looks at all the Disney animated canon movies that haven't been adapted into KH and discusses the potential of each to show up in a future game. Yeah, I get the Home on the Range, and I'm like, nope. Which was, like, kind of an excuse to not have to, like, write that much about it, but it's like, what are we doing? Like, really? I'm not wasting my time. Yeah, it's not even at the bottom of either list. I just don't want to talk about or watch Home on the Range. And I almost do the same for Good Dinosaur, but I'm like, okay, people are going to think I'm just being a lazy ass if I do this once per vid. So, take that against Genie Jafar. Oh, and James Woods. Hell yeah, let's go. Genie Jafar is last place twice at both my boss rankings for KH1 and 2, due to his wasted potential of being a competent boss. He also mentions how, despite not doing a ranking for Calm, that Genie Jafar is just as bad there due to being exactly the same. Whenever you see this little gas pump symbol, it stands for your mileage may vary, where it's like, okay, this is not like a objective trope, it's more so like it's up to viewer interpretation, and also like it's up to my interpretation in this context, because I'm sure some people don't think I mean, most people probably don't think it's as bad as I do. And yeah, and then again, it references how I tried to rank him last in KH3 before realizing it had to be Big Fish. And then yes, I take quite a few jabs at James Woods whenever his role as Hades comes up. In my video on the most popular characters, I go off on a tangent about the subject and questions why I often get comments suggesting that he stop alienating subsections of his viewers, pointing out that he is very much trying to alienate anyone who would rush to the defense of a transphobic election denier. And then you get people in the comments like, I don't get it, what did James Woods do? And it's like, are you being bad faith? Like, I just said what he did, and you can just Google it, right? Like, I don't have to explain this to you. They're just trying to bait an argument out of me. And I'm not gonna fall for that, so we have The Urban Legend of Zelda, the video investigating an old Kingdom Hearts myth, which is from this site. addressed and painstakingly debunked a rumor that used to be reported as fact on this site that defeating Riku's optional boss fight on Destiny Islands will make him harder during the first fight with him at Hollow Bastion. Yeah, this was on the page called That One Boss for KH1, I think, and it was about how, oh, if you beat Riku on Destiny Islands, he's pissed off for Hollow Bastion, he's more difficult. The whole video was like proving that was bullshit. And a very special episode. After reaching 100 Patreon users, I released a special celebratory video reviewing all Disney Toon Studios DTV cheapquels with 2 catches. I watched every single one sped up except for the musical parts, and I myself get completely wasted on beer. I did not drink beer, not a drop. I hate beer. I drank mostly Mike's Hard Lemonades, I believe, for that stint. But yeah, the entire review can be better described as a drunken montage of me trying to stay critical without the beer intoxication clouding my opinions, to which post-edit Pat at the intro jokingly challenges his fans to spot in which section of the review he was under the influence. Which was like, not most of it, but a decent chunk. Oh, look at this. I'm right between Red Moon Role-Playing, which I don't know what that is, but Rhett and Link, so on Web Video Creators, the index. That's fun. I don't know if we'll go through... I think trivia is usually a pretty late... Yeah, there's only one thing here. God never said that. I exposed a bunch of community common knowledge towards Kingdom Hearts. I don't know if that's the right way to phrase it, but the most notable ones being that Nomura never got drunk during development of Coded, to which he reveals that said description only appeared in one translation of an interview, showing how the original translation and other translations were never mentioned such statement, and Arundel's inclusion in KH3 being actually a creator's favorite, as Nomura loved Frozen and wanted it to be part of the game. Yep, that is true. So we have a couple of your mileage may vary things. Oh, this, yeah. Accidental innuendo. In the video Best Treasure Chest in Kingdom Hearts, when he's talking about the best chest in Traverse Town, the footage shows Sora interacting with the woman standing in front of the cafe, with Sora's short height conveniently making him look like he's staring right at her chest, not helped by the camera's lock-on cursor pointing to it, and the exclamation point appearing next to his head. After a fan pointed this out in the comments, Pat confirmed that it was entirely accidental and only noticed it during editing, but found it amusing, so he decided to keep it in. This happened again recently with... Was it the... I think it was... I don't know if anyone's pointed this out, but in the KH1 Final Mix Plus video, I think I say something like, here's another 2 big things, and I'm... Again, it's the fucking clip of Sora near the lady, and I didn't mean to do it again there either. So, yeah, accidental innuendo both times. And both times I noticed, and I'm like, it's kind of funny. Creator Backlash. On his video where he talks about his changed opinions towards the KH series, I go over how most of my opinions gained a major shift since my beginning on YouTube and continuous interaction with his Twitch chat. True, I like the community more now than I did 6-7 years ago. I have a lengthy discussion toward my opinion over Dream Drop, talking about that game's status as a generally disliked entry on the franchise, at least for me. I don't think Gen Pop dislikes Dream Drop. So I think I'm kind of an outlier for that. Or maybe I'm just, I don't know, I feel like I'm a bit of a grunge about it sometimes, but it's just my genuine feelings and opinions on it. I go over how the game has many flaws that kept frustrating me when I streamed the game, such as the generally boring and grindy nature of the game compared to the other entries, the way flow motion got implemented in such a way it easily turns into a massive game breaker and skipping various sections of the maps, and the main characterization of Sora heavily dumbed down to the point of becoming insufferable and almost feeling like a parody in some cases. I saw a tweet the other day and I was like, this is such a subtweet about me. It was like something about like straight bros can't handle Sora and Dream Drop distance, and I'm like, oh, this is about me. I don't know, man. I just think, like, I've said this myself, and I think this person might have pointed it out in their tweet too, but like, yeah, are you a little bit dumber in your dream? Are you a little bit ditzier? Probably. You're in a dream, like, you're not thinking straight. And I've used that argument myself to maybe explain away why Sora is the way he is. Like, you can't deny that he's, like, not his real self in that game. Like, he's still lighthearted and, like, a bit of an airhead and jokey, but, like, not to that extent in Dream Drop. Or rather, like, he is that way in Dream Drop and the other games, but, like, they just dial it up to 11 and it feels kind of flanderized in Dream Drop. Here we go, back to Michael Mouse running gag. I admit that I start to regret it, especially after realizing that most of the reason toward my hatred against Mickey came from the internet and not for personal reasons. True. This one. In the first World Watch video, I discussed the potential of 101 Dalmatians showing up again in the series, and I imagine a Pikmin-esque scenario in which Sora leads 99 puppies into battle against Heartless. At this point, it feels more likely than a Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 would be announced 2 months after the video and released a little over a year later. And odds are, if I'm getting a new comment on the first World Watch, it's about, well, that Pikmin 4 thing didn't age very well. You can't blame me for this, okay? Fucking Miyamoto said, oh yeah, Pikmin 4's coming. He was saying that shit in, like, 2014, and he was full of shit then. I bet it wasn't even in, like, alpha at that point. So, yeah. I regret nothing. And finally, self-imposed challenge. I've done quite a few challenges over the years related to Kingdom Hearts. In my boss ranking for KH1, I mentioned 2. I beat the entirety of the game, including the Hades Cup, with one hand. That is true. That was before making the channel, I think. Or maybe it was, like, during my, like, my COVID off season in 2020. It was one of those. And another, titled My Friends Are My Power Challenge, I was blinded with... I saw him playing blinded with a controller while a friend of him told him what to do. It makes it sound like the controller blinded me. No, I had a headband on, or a bandana. And then another challenge I made was beating both of the entirety of KH1 and 2 with my feet, this time streamed for everyone to look. Not at my feet, though. Just at my face. Sorry. Okay, well, there you go. Again, I don't know if this was interesting. I realized as I was reading it that I'm kind of just, like, talking about things that are pretty plainly evident in the videos themselves, but that's kind of what TV Tropes does. I just think it's neat. Like, I feel very honored, and I just think it's cool. It's kind of like a little bucket list thing for me that someone thought to put me on here. And it's like something where I don't think anybody in my real life, if I were to tell them about this, would really, like, maybe RF kind of gets it. I think I've talked to her about this before. But, like, this is something where it's like my parents, my family would not understand, like, why this means anything to me at all. Because, like, I've spent so many hours just poring over TV tropes and reading about, like, everything I can about the things that I like. So the fact that, like, I'm a thing that someone might like that they go to read about is so cool. And it makes me feel warm and fuzzy. Shout out to Windy Hill, Windy Valley from Sonic Adventure 1. Okay, well, this will be being uploaded, I guess, right now. I'm just gonna put this out while I go back to working on the battle video. Little sneak peek. Wow, look at all those words! I can keep doing this for another 10 seconds. Holy fuck. Alright, oh, that's misspelled. Favorite. Nope. Anyway, thanks for watching. Again, sorry if this was just kind of dumb. I guess I should say, if the person who made this page is out there watching, thank you. If I was a little hard on you for any of this, I didn't mean to be. I just, you know, I'm an editor by trade and a proofreader, so if I see like a silly sentence, I might dog on it a bit, but I very much appreciate the effort that went into this. I'm assuming it's mostly one person. You might be able, if I like had a TV Tropes account and logged in, I might be able to see like the users that, so you could probably like, yeah, you could edit it and maybe see like a wiki. But okay, I'm done rambling because I haven't done a ramble, so this is that, okay? I love you, be safe, be kind, be courteous, and I'll see you around. Take it easy.